Hello, Planet Watchers. Welcome back to Aquarius with Mary Jane and me.
Hello,
And
everyone.
we are still in Mercury retrograde
Yes, but it's not going to last long.
till the 18th, right?
Right, right.
Well, I was
Yeah,
thinking
it's
about this,
just
Mary Jane, that, if we need any evidence of what Mercury retrograde means, what it does, the FAA fiasco, where remember where just recently, gosh, the news comes so fast, right? But the recently all of the FAA computers went down in North America.
right.
Yeah.
Yes, that
Like,
counts big time.
yeah, it's like, oh, you say it's Mercury retrograde, huh? Yeah.
Oh, let me just point out we're recording this on whatever it is, the 14th of January, right? So we're still in this Mercury retrograde, and that's going on until what did you say, the 18th?
18th.
Christy and I, before we got started here, were just saying that I've been a week behind in
Oh,
all my appointments, or a week ahead. I still haven't quite figured this out. So I'm sure all will be clear. I will be very glad when Mercury goes direct again at the middle of the next week.
that's so funny. We were just talking about that, and I didn't even chalk that up to this retro.
I know it's just being extremely difficult to get our act together here.
Well, and it's so funny how different Mercury retrogrades just will do different things.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And with the year change and now the month change and just all kinds of bizarre things going on, it seems to be just doubly hard right now. I don't know what that's about. But anyway,
Exactly. Oh my God, it is, yeah, a little crazy. So Aquarius.
yes,
Wow,
yes. And
it's not
it's going to be hectic.
really.
There's well, there are slow things going on that I'll be explaining. There are vast bunches of time together, some weeks following each other that are going to kind of give us a connecting line through this month. We'll talk about those first, and then we'll add on some sort of odd dates here and there. But yeah, the tendencies are good. There are some very good tendencies. There are lots of things that are still hanging on that we're not going to be getting rid of real soon. But in all, I think there we'll be able to get some growth going and get this new year off to a good start. I want to first of all say uh, a very special Happy New Year to all you rabbits out there. We're going to, on the 22nd of January, we've got the Chinese New Year. That my friends tell me is in fact the Sino-Vietnamien uh, New Year, because it was in fact in Vietnam where the Chinese astrology, what we call Chinese astrology, was born. So all of that said, the rabbit is a particularly Chinese sign. Apparently, they're not. It's not the same in the Vietnamese and the Chinese calendar. Whatever. And in any case, we're going into the Chinese rabbit year, and
A
apparently
rabbit?
rabbits are very lucky. Yeah.
You're a rabbit. Oh, fantastic.
Oh, I'm not a rabbit. No, no,
Oh,
no.
good.
I'm a pig. What can I say?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm a
Yeah.
dragon.
Well, actually, I'm a boar, but pigs, between the two, I figure being a pig is better than being a boar, right? At least in English.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay. So rabbits lucky, huh?
Apparently so. They're very nice animals. This is a sign of elegance, of grace, of artistic gifts. Makes me think a lot about the Libra sign, actually, in that there's
Or
yeah, well, right.
no, no, you're Virgo. So sorry.
I'm still Virgo, but I have an important stuff in Libra. Connectivity. This is a sign that gives social grace, and rabbits on the bad side will be so delicate and tender and sentimental that they don't want to enter into any conflict. They're sort of hidden can be extremely uh, bashful and sort of laid back to an overwhelming degree. But that can be useful too. Meanwhile, on the positive side, all of this comes away being very good team players, very good social workers, very good considerate people, and that's always nice to hear. Anyway,
True. True.
and with that, apparently the Chinese consider this a very lucky sign. So
Well, yes. And rabbit's foot is generally pretty lucky, except for the
there
rabbit.
you go, there you go. So it's carried on into our Western thinking as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you said that Aquarius coming up is going to be hectic.
Well, it is. Let's start about with some of the bigger themes that seem very important. The first one that comes to mind, and I know everybody's getting really tired of this message, but that the upsurge in flu and COVID is not tapering off yet. If anything, it's picking up speed, and we've just got to be really careful uh, in health issues, all kinds of health issues, but
Mhm.
especially these viral infections. They're just keeping on, keeping on.
I had
And
a flu over
yeah,
New Year's. It was awful.
well, really, and well, January, February, we're in the here in the north, we're in the heat of winter, and that's when these things tend to happen to us after all. So
Exactly.
anyway, take care of yourselves out there. Do everything you can do in keeping up a proper immunity, and that's about the best we can do. Huh? But meanwhile, just know that it's still kind of dangerous out there.
Hmm.
The second happier movement that I wanted to talk about was the connection, the strong conjunction between Venus and Saturn that's happening in the sign of Aquarius right now. That is showing with help from the Sun and Jupiter, is showing some very good monetary tendencies. This is an excellent time, especially from the 16th to the 27th of January. Very good signs for money dealings of all kinds. Investments are working well. It's a very good time to be looking at also self-improvement
Mm.
techniques if you're wanting to get involved in therapies or in other growth experiences. This is a very good time to be undertaking that kind of thing. Excellent for sports as well. We've got a very nice trine, Sun, Mars, and Ceres that are showing up until from now until the 3rd of February. There seem to be excellent signs for organization of work and project teams, all kinds of team play, including sports. This is going to be an excellent time for championships and so on that are going on.
Is that the when
Uh,
the Super Bowl is the Super Bowl then? I'm so
I don't, I have no idea. I'm a
yes.
rugby fan, so
Well,
I haven't been paying attention to it, but should be now,
God,
kind of, isn't it?
yeah, it's usually in January. Let's see real quick. Uh oh goodness. When is Super Bowl 2023? Because that would be wonderful. And there's a chance that my home team, your home team, is going to be going.
Oh my.
Oh, it's February 12th. So a little bit
Oh
later.
yeah, so it's still in the period of Uranus of Aquarius. So yeah, it should be very, very interesting for all sporting events, especially championships, going out, winning, getting things decided on that level. And certainly for individual sports, it's very good if you're involved in competitions or any growth experiences. Why this is going to be an excellent time for you. Now,
Wonderful.
the money angle gets a little more iffy from the 27th of January on. Venus is leaving this conjunction. It's keeping the conjunction, but is changing signs. So Venus is going to be going into Pisces, which gets to be a little fuzzier. And
Hmm.
so the tendency will be to see a certain unraveling of monetary connections, investments, and so on. Monetary decisions are going to have to be very carefully taken in
Mm.
this period of the end of January. Yeah, be very careful. And I would say after the 27th, give it a wait. Give it a wait before you jump feet first into any heavy duty investment propositions.
Yeah.
But this said, as I said, with the help of the Sun and Jupiter, which are always a very good business combination, we have some very good dates, and the Moon is helping out on the 22nd and on the 26th of January. So we've got some very good dates to be playing whatever you're playing out there. It just gets a little iffier toward the end of the month. So that's one important thing I wanted to talk about. The one other issue that I think is going to be important is the somewhat more difficult times already right now from the 20th and on for a few days until the 28th, actually. We have a very difficult time in personal or family relationships. Yeah. Communication is off, and it's a difficult time in the outside world as far as negotiations, business negotiations, and so on. The communication is extremely difficult, and all of a sudden it becomes extremely emotional. So it's not a very good time to be asking for a pay rise or a promotion or other trying to even out what are actually fairly difficult family situations. Could be a bit iffy through there.
And that's January 20th through 28th.
From the 20th to the 28th, actually. At the same time, the sun is going to be making an opposition to our famous black moon Lilith. And this is a time of, well, always a time of tests. We're putting ourselves to the test, and especially with the sun, becomes a question of ego systems as well. So you want to enter into any argument, any discussion with the idea of winning, and there's not much room for proper communication or negotiation in that kind of a situation.
Oh, I see.
So yeah, I'm saying from the 20th, 28th, go tenderly into your personal relationships, your family relationships, getting communication off the ground. It's just extremely difficult then.
Okay, good to know.
Another movement, though, that I like a lot has to do with our friend Vesta. We've talked about Vesta every now and then, who's been important these days as far as buying and selling houses, doing renovation, setting up hearth and home, things like that are going to go very smoothly, actually, with a lot of new ideas, a lot of uh, a lot of dream work, I wanted to say finally. It's a question of redoing our architectural drawing.
Yeah.
People are going to be innovating. And there's a very good time for this from the 20th to the 7th of February. Very happy again from the 20th, 22nd January, particularly. We're involved in drawing up new architectural plans, getting authorizations, especially if that's necessary in your part of the world. Why, this is a good time to be getting all the lines, all the signatures needed to get ahead in one's household projects.
And permits and lining up contractors, all of that. Yeah.
I'm sure so, especially with the contractors, because there's a tendency, you're going to be out finding, Neptune is in charge of finding new materials, new techniques, innovative techniques are going to be important. Uranus is getting involved in here and is going to be showing us especially new techniques and more innovative ways to get what you want to do done. these days. So we've got a very nice period here and until actually through the 12th of February to be doing exactly those things. It's not to say that nothing is possible afterwards, but this is a very handy time to be digging in, getting the groundwork done, getting the drawings done, getting the authorizations done, and running these things to ground finally. It looks very good for that, in fact. Now, there are some dates in here that are not as good for sports, for movement, for travel from the 29th until the 10th of February. And this becomes particularly difficult from the 2nd to the 8th of February. This
Mm.
is a period where, first of all, on a world level, we're going to see a growth, and spreading of the shock between world leaders and on the ground revolutionaries. We're going to see this in Iran. We're going to see this I think in Israel and Palestine. We're going to see a heating up of again the egotism involved with the sun that's coming just head on with the revolutionary techniques of Uranus. And we've
Oh,
got an important square. Now the full moon happening from the 5th on the 5th of February is going to especially underline these movements. But this is also important for us on a more personal level because this is a very dangerous time actually for sports. For weather conditions, I think are going to be fairly hideous that first week in February. High winds, we're looking at rough storms, uh, difficult, really not good travel times.
oh my goodness. Well, and speaking of the sports, I'm thinking of that Buffalo Bills player, Damar Hamlin,
Yeah, yeah.
that tragic incident. And we're gearing up for football playoffs. I'm not even a football fan, but we're gearing up in the football playoff season, getting ready for the Super Bowl. So um that does not bode well.
It does not. It does not. It's a terrible time to be doing all of this. I think especially with the playoffs, because this
Right.
is once we're into the 12th of February, this looks like it's calmed down a bit. But all the preparations are going on right now, aren't they? And it's just not good.
Hmm.
But I want to, on a very personal level, it's important to remember there through their travel situation is going to be extremely rough. Be
Yeah.
ready for, at the best, weather delays, cancellations. That's the best news. The worst scenario is getting caught up in some of this heavy duty traffic.
Well, we've already been seeing mudslides, torrential downpours in California,
Yeah.
flooding. 17 people died related to weather in
Yeah.
California recently. And tornadoes. I mean, well, we're heading into tornado season, but it's not traditionally tornado season.
No, it's not. But with the again the movement of Uranus through Taurus has been extremely important in this question. Taurus is the Earth, huh? And we know that our heavy weather patterns are coming actually from the Earth, much more than the cyclones that involve the oceans. So now with the sun coming square to Uranus, why we're going to see again heavy winds. A lot of shock in temperatures between high and low. And this is just what bad weather is made of. This is
Absolutely.
so it's going to be rough if you can put off or line up the best you can. In any case, travel plans, think about weather conditions before you're out traveling, wherever,
Hmm.
wherever.
Right.
So those are some of the highlights that I wanted to point out. Again, the 30th of January is kind of a black hole in that wonderful investment period I was talking about. By then, the good news is kind of worn off. So, but otherwise, the 22nd, the 26th, we've got a very good moon involved in these monetary movements. Any investment movements look very good through there.
Oh, good. Right, right, right. So, yeah, as with any other period of the year, there's good days, bad days, good for some things, bad for others, and
For
right. But it helps
sure.
to know what the weather report is. I've checked the
Well,
weather on my
definitely,
phone
just the
all the
general weather, all kinds of weather,
time.
and we've got some rough seas, I've got to say this month, but that's the actually kind of the name of the game in the sign of Aquarius anyway. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. Uranus is the planet of upheaval, of change, of innovation, okay, of revolution, okay, but there's a lot of movement in this and required in with Uranus. And so when this is going on, we've just got to be ready for nearly anything. In fact, lots of surprises involved with Uranus.
Yeah. You talked about Iran and some other kind of hot spots. What about Ukraine? Are you looking at anything in the sky?
I think the Sun Uranus square is going to involve Mr. Putin and his plans quite a bit. I think he's going to see a lot of revolutionary talk around him, around himself, and around his plans. So I'm thinking things aren't necessarily going to stay smooth on the ground in Russia, actually.
Interesting. Yeah, very interesting. Yeah, I can't, well, I couldn't imagine months ago that
Yeah,
this that could go on much longer, but it is. Here we are.
it is. It is. And I would like to eat my words when I said that the shock we talked about this last year in Pisces, when the or Aries, I guess, when the first shock was there, and I said, "Oh no, this is going to be a flash in the pan," but no, it certainly is still going on. But we're in an important turnaround time, I think now, and I hope this is going to be useful in ending this dreadful war there.
Oh, I hope so too. And I just keep seeing um outpouring for the Ukrainian people who are without
Yes,
electricity, gas, power, the basic needs. And, the whole world saying this can't keep going on.
this cannot keep going on. I know they are going to be receiving a lot of help, a lot more help, and yes, they absolutely need it. So
Hmm.
I like Zelensky's thinking. Speaking of the Aquarian desire to organize and get organized, he said we are a de facto member of NATO.
Yeah.
So he's doing his best to get signed on, and I hope this will help him turn the tide as well. Look for more help.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Have you looked at Zelensky's natal chart at all?
I haven't really had time to, but I think it should be pretty interesting. Yeah, yeah, I will do. I'll
I
let
know
you know about it.
you've looked at Putin,
Oh yes, well, yeah.
right?
He's a snake in the grass, It's just
Oh my.
boy, he's still on his KGB kick. He thinks he's still climbing up the ladder in the KGB and just he hasn't quite gotten into the 21st century yet.
Interesting. Yeah, very interesting.
Um,
Right. So that's all the highlights of Aquarius. And
yes,
yeah, and Happy New Year to all of the rabbits. Yes,
indeed. And good luck to all of us.
like to all of us indeed. Well, thank you once again, Mary Jane. And I would like to issue a reminder to everybody that, what we're talking about is just kind of global. It's very global, somewhat surface level. However, these are some truths for the entire planet according to what's going on in the sky. But each individual person has their own sky that we're looking at.
Definitely. And we should get in position. I like to think that we are in position to, with that, to attach these energies, attach these important dates to our own personal agenda. And that's why it's so important to have your natal chart in hand. And then you can more easily use these dates, these times, these energies, these periods to your advantage, actually.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. And I want to just say again that in the comments, there's going to be, or in the description, sorry, in the description, a link to schedule a reading with Mary Jane for your own natal chart and solar return.
For
All
sure.
right.
Be glad
Yep.
to see you.
All right. Well, thank you so much and see you in Aries.
Seeing
No,
you in Pisces.
Pisces.
Right, right. Got to get through that first.
Mhm.
Happy swimming.